Hello and welcome to the Keto for Moms breastfeeding series. We're back today. We're talking about a super frustrating topic for a lot of people that are doing keto to lose weight, and that is a weight stall. So you've started the diet, you're doing awesome, you're following all the things, um, but you hit a plateau and you just can't lose weight anymore. So we're going to identify how to figure out what's going on. I'm going to tell you what you definitely should not be doing as a breastfeeding mom on the ketogenic diet in order to get past a plateau or stall. And then I'm going to give you, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things that you can do if you've hit a weight stall. So there's hope. Don't worry. We're going to figure it out. The first thing I wanted to talk about is determining if you're actually in a stall. So on our Facebook support page, we have moms post all the time like, help, I'm stalled. It's been a week and the scale hasn't moved. Well, sorry, sister, but that's not a stall yet. A true weight loss stall is 6 weeks without a change in the scale. So if you have weight to lose, you can't call it a stall unless you haven't lost in 6 weeks. There's just so much going on in your body. Even if you're not breastfeeding, it's 6 weeks before you can call it a stall, because there's so much that your body will change and do that will not show up on a scale, and it's still progress. You're still moving towards progress. So you have to wait 6 weeks before you can call it a stall. Also, if you started the ketogenic diet and you dropped, you lost something crazy, like 5 pounds or more in the first week, and then it seems like you stalled after that. That's not really a stall either, or maybe you just slowed down a lot. An initial drop is very common. A lot of people carry around bloat, and ketogenic lifestyle is so anti-inflammatory that you lose a lot of that bloat, and that causes a big drop. And then weight seems to level out, and you slowly burn fat after that. So that first drop is not an indication of how the trajectory of your journey is going to go. That's just an initial drop, and then your body will slowly start burning fat after that. So that's just because you slowed down after your first big dip does not mean that you're in a stall. Besides weight, if you're starting a ketogenic diet, and even if you're not starting, even if you're in the middle of it and you're just, taking an assessment now and tightening up and troubleshooting some issues now by going through this series, it's a good idea to take measurements, to take photos, to start journaling, to do other things to track your progress besides just weight, so that you don't freak out when that happens. So we'll cover that in this series. We go over it. If you didn't see it in the willpower section, how to boost your willpower, there's a progress tracker that helps you measure other things besides the scale, so that you recognize the progress that your body is making, even if it's not yet showing up where you want it to on that scale. So do those things. Also, as a mom, your breastfed baby is going through multiple stages and leaps, or wonders. I don't know. They're called different things, different parts of the world, and in different apps and in different medical circles, but different growth spurts that might be emotional or mental or physical. And those growth spurts are going to demand more of your body. And so there might be weeks, chunks of weeks at a time, when your body is not going to want to budge. It's not going to want to move down. That's an extra thing that you as a mom have to deal with. So that's a fact. Like, your hormones will not let you. They will demand that you eat more, and they will resist letting go of fat during those weeks. So moms do need to exercise a little bit more patience in this area. That should still be covered within those 6 weeks. But for moms, it might be up to 8 weeks of a stall, even if you're doing everything right. But go with avoiding the things to avoid that I'm going to cover next, because it's just going to save you a lot of trouble and heartache. we've seen it time and time again with the moms on our group. Don't do drastic measures as a mom. Just exercise a little more patience with yourself. Be gentle with your body. So, for most of us, when we start a keto diet, it's totally, completely different than we've grown up eating or how we were eating right before we started. So, it's a big learning curve, and it makes sense that a lot of us make mistakes when we're first learning about it. So these are some of the most common mistakes that I see. Some of them are ones I did myself, and some of them I've seen from the women in our Facebook group, and they can lead to stalling your weight loss. So let's go over those so that you can check yourself for yourself. The first common keto mistake is people are worried about supply. Moms would be worried about their milk supply, or they aren't losing and they freak out a little bit, and they add in carbs to their diet. So their weight's stalling, they add in carbs, and then that kind of throws you back and extends the time when your body's then going to let go. You'll read in other keto groups, I'm sure you're in other keto groups that are not breastfeeding moms, and people will do a carb up and then they'll drop weight again, and that's great that works for them. And even in not breastfeeding groups, people will do carb ups and they don't help. Actually, they will set you back. So the best thing is just to keto on. Don't add carbs. You can always add electrolytes if you're more hungry, or if you feel like you need more supply, your supply is dipping. You can always increase your electrolytes. So increase your electrolytes first instead of increasing your carbs. That's not going to set you back, and it usually is the answer way more often than, there are no essential carbs. So it's likely electrolytes that your body needs, or hydration with electrolytes. Another mistake that I commonly see, especially with busy moms, because we're like doing all the things and it's a lot, and feeding yourself is just one more thing that's very difficult to do, and many moms put themselves last, and so they end up trying to drink their calories with a shake, or a bulletproof coffee, or any other high calorie drink. Drinking your calories unfortunately just doesn't send the same signals to your body that chewing food does. And there's a lot more hidden things that can happen in those products that can inhibit weight loss, inhibit body healing if that needs to take place, and it's just not satisfying. So then you're hungry later anyways, and you end up eating those calories anyway. That's what I do. So it's not helpful. You don't do yourself any favor by drinking calories. In the group, I only recommend using shakes if you cannot get enough calories. Like if you're pregnant and nauseous and you just can't eat anything, then have a shake. But if you're doing it as a habit to save time and have something quick to grab, there's other quick things that you can make and grab on the go that do better for your body and for weight loss especially. So don't drink your calories. Another common weight loss mistake that we see is stressing out. Stress hormones cause fat storage. That's just a fact. And even when you're eating under stress, your digestion changes, your efficiency in burning calories changes under stress. Most people, when eating in a stressful environment, will eat more. That's just how stress works in the body. So stressing out, you really have to manage that stress. If your goal is weight loss, it has to be a priority to figure out how to manage your stress in other ways besides food. A lot of people will also cut protein when they're not losing weight, or I'll see people say like add fat if you're not losing weight. Like I'm not sure how that ever worked for people, but most of the time you need to add protein, or add animal-based protein, which usually does have fat with it as well. But more often than not, if you're still hungry, it's because you probably need more protein. So there are studies showing during pregnancy, women, as your pregnancy progresses, your protein need increases. So you need more protein at the end of pregnancy than the beginning of pregnancy. They don't do studies past that, but it only makes sense. We know there's a high protein need when you're breastfeeding as well. So it only makes sense that as your baby's growing and you're still their only source of nutrients, that your protein need is still growing as well. So really high protein, it's very difficult to overeat protein. Almost no one does it. If you're eating, animal-based protein, real foods, it's not going to happen. You can have up to 100%, 150% of your protein goal. Most breastfeeding women need like 1.2 times their lean body mass in grams of protein. So aim high for that protein and go for protein when you're still hungry. Something protein rich, an animal-based meat. Grab meat or fish or eggs, something like that. And another thing that we see is people cutting their calories too low. So you could send your body into metabolic stress, and then it wants to hold on to everything that it has, and it doesn't do you any favors. It can cause you to get very, very, very ill when you're breastfeeding to cut calories too much, and all kinds of issues. So don't continue to cut calories until you've tried all these 10 tips that I'm going to go over right now. First, try these before you try cutting calories, okay? So here's my top 10 tips for overcoming a weight stall on a ketogenic diet while breastfeeding. Keto for moms, overcoming weight stall tips. All right, first of all, add in overeating day. I've seen this on other keto groups. I think it's a great idea. I think it's an even more awesome idea for moms, especially because they're so busy on the go, and particularly for breastfeeding moms who have higher nutritional demands. So I can easily not get hungry and forget to eat. I have to eat on a schedule so that I remember to eat, or else I will make myself sick. So I'm very particular about doing that every single day. But still, I can, be in the middle of a meal and something happens and I don't finish my meal, or my baby, now toddler, sits on my lap and ends up eating the other half of my meal. So my calories can vary and can be incorrectly tracked very easily. So in order to maintain a weight loss slope, I incorporate an overeating day. I have one day a week that I specifically eat very high calories, that I make it a point to get all my calories in, and to eat a lot of protein on that overeating day. So every day I try and hit the same amount of calories, which is at a little bit of a deficit. But then once a week, I keep my metabolism in check. I keep my body knowing, like, listen, food is coming. There's no issue here. We're good. Go ahead and release weight because we got plenty of food coming in. I have an overeating day once a week. It's a great idea. So that overeating day can be an additional 400 calories and of protein and fat. So usually I try and make it protein rich, like a meat. So the second tip is to start tracking total carbs instead of net carbs. A lot of moms like to do easy, grabbable, something they can buy at the market that's keto friendly that they can eat. A lot of those products might have, just added fiber to bring the net carbs down. Some people tend to overeat veggies, like especially cruciferous vegetables like broccoli or cauliflower. When they're making side dishes, those add up really quickly and they don't notice how much they're getting. So tracking total carbs and trying to get those down might be the answer for you. It's something to try. Most people like to try things for 30 days to see how their body reacts, and then go back to tracking net carbs and see if that was the issue or not. The third tip is to take a probiotic or even HCl, something to help heal your gut and set your digestive system working again. It can impact. We know now, and more research keeps being done about how gut health affects stress and mood and your ability, your hormone levels, all those things. What's amazing about us as breastfeeding moms is that when we have good gut health, we pass that through our breast milk to our babies too. So they benefit from all those good gut flora that you take as well. High quality probiotics are really important. I use one that's shelf stable. It doesn't have to be refrigerated, just because as a mom, that's so much easier for me. I could take it on the go. I can travel with it. I can keep it upstairs in my bathroom cabinet so that when I do that routine of taking my supplements, it can just stay in there with all the rest of the supplements that I take without having to go into another cabinet, which doesn't seem like a lot until you're a mom. And then, like, so many distractions can happen, and it's a lot. Another, number 4, is try cutting dairy for 30 days. Not everyone's sensitive to dairy, but there's a lot of bad dairy on the market. So kind of dairy you're using can matter and make a difference. And then some people are more sensitive than they think to dairy. So cutting dairy out might seem drastic to you. I am a cheese lover. I love my cheese. I love occasionally having a nice latte, having cream in my coffee. But cutting dairy out might be the answer for you. Some people have an intolerance, and it's not really a true issue with dairy, so they might be able to add it back in at a future time. But cutting it out for 30, 60, 90 days could give your body the chance to heal whatever it needs to heal. That the dairy might be inhibiting that from happening, and then you can add it back in. It doesn't cause any issues, and you are still moving in your weight management goals. The next tip is to eat slowly without a drink. So you're not supposed to have anything to drink like 30 minutes before you have a meal. As a breastfeeding mom, this can be a really hard one for me, and sometimes I can't follow it just because by the time I sit down for a meal, I'm like, oh, not only am I hungry, I'm so thirsty because I didn't drink water properly today, or whatever reason. So generally, I do try and follow this rule though. So 30 minutes before you eat allows your digestive system to work properly, and it doesn't dilute down all the juices and acids in your stomach that you need to properly digest food and absorb nutrients out of your food. So that can definitely help with satiety and your digestion. So the next tip is to use cold therapy. So check with your doctor to make sure this is okay for you if you have a medical concern. But cold therapy is really helpful for mitochondria support, and it boosts fat loss, and that brown fat loss that they talk about, and it can help your mood, and a bunch of other. It's really good for your hair and your skin and all these things. So you could do cold therapy simply by taking a cold shower instead of a warm shower. You can soak your feet in ice water for 10 minutes. You'll have to Google it. I'll put some links below to information about how to do cold therapy, but it can be very simple. Putting a cool rag on the back of your neck in the evening. Lots of different options for just getting your body temperature down. They even have chili pads that you can put on your bed, on your mattress at night, to bring your core body temperature down, and really supports a lot of healing and cool stuff. The next tip, what are we on now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 7 is to support your liver. So just supporting your liver and getting your liver healthy will drastically impact your overall health, but particularly if you're trying to lose weight, supporting your liver helps your body to be able to break down more fat. So all that fat has to be processed and get out of your body, and that goes through the liver. So having a healthy, happy liver is vital to any weight loss. So there's lots of different ways to support your liver, and I have a little, flyer that you can download I'll link it below, of my best liver support products that I use to help do that. And you can also, you know, Google your favorite keto gurus, usually have their ways that they support their liver as well. So you can look that up. My next tip is a hard one for me. It's to cut out restaurants. So there are so many. The end of this, I'm going to talk about tips. At the end of this series, I'm going to talk about tips for eating out. But so many things go wrong when you're eating out. You don't know what you're getting, how they cook it, and there's lots of hidden carbs and ingredients, and it's just generally they're trying to get the best tasting product to you for the least amount of money. That's their goal. Their goal is not to make you a healthy meal, regardless what it looks like on their commercial, or to help you with your diet. Their goal is to make a profit and help you like their food. So there's a lot of things that can be in those foods that are going to stall your diet, which is why I have the easy meal planner in this series, so that you can eat at home more and just keep it real simple, make it the easiest for you to do, because that's going to help you meet your weight goals much faster than trying to do it with restaurant food. Getting better sleep. Oh, number 9, getting better sleep will have a drastic impact on your weight loss. It reduces stress. It helps mood. It helps your hormones. There's new research all the time about how good sleep is for us. And practicing good sleep hygiene is going to make an impact on your life. Even more so than the scale, but it will probably help the scale as well. But that's why I cover a lot of these in this series. Otherwise, it's hard as a mom to get good sleep, but you can definitely improve the quality of your sleep, even if you can't manage how much you're woken at night. You can still improve the quality of your sleep by following our sleep tips in this series. And the last one is closest to my heart, and that is you have to think positively. Weight loss is definitely happens in the mind and in the kitchen. And you need to tell yourself that you can do this. You need to believe that it's possible for you personally. So if you have problems with self-talk and encouraging yourself and thinking that you can do it, you can always post in our group and get encouragement there. You can download different, go look up quotes, positive quotes on the internet, and download, those pictures that they have with the little quotes on them. I have those that I look at when I'm down or am discouraged and think I can't do it. You can use the progress tracker that I have from this series, from the willpower day about boosting your willpower. There's a bunch of ways to get quotes in there and ways to encourage yourself and keep your mindset very positive. So I know you can do it. You're in this series and you're learning all the ways not to mess it up. So you're already way better off than I was when I started. So if I've been successful and able to do this, you certainly, having learned everything I learned and now everything that the women in the group who have been successful doing a keto diet have learned. This community has been amazingly helpful for me and for the other women in there. And I know that it's going to be a helpful place for you too. And this is going to be able to set you up for success, and you're definitely going to be able to reach your goals. It might not be in the time frame that you think because kids make everything not in the time frame that we think, but you definitely can continue working towards there. So stick with it. Let's finish off this series strong. Keep watching the videos and following and taking your notes so that you can get that success. We'll see you tomorrow.